It's okay. Smokes and jokes. Welcome, everybody. It's your favorite, most popularist podcast in the greatest New York City area, coming to you only how we do Smokes and Jizzokes podcast. Oh, perfect timing. Look at that. Whoa. Wow. Look at that. Came through on time.
Yo.
My illustrious co-host.
Oh, my Bluetooth headset. Give me my
Give it up
Bluetooth.
for him one time, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing,
Yeah.
Meow, meow. There's a new member of the podcast family.
For some reason,
this is my little meow, meow. Tika. I think his name would be
the
Tika.
craziest, wonkiest service out here. I'm going to call back in. It's better if I call back in.
All right, you call back in, and while we wait for y'all to get in line, we're gonna go to episode 2 of another episode of the Smokes and
Episode
Jokes.
2.
Y'all, I don't think y'all been watching this, man. Episode 2 is out, so you need to see it with us right now. Exclusive.
I just sent you episode 3 too, as well.
All right, we'll get to that later. Right now, we're at episode 2.
Watching Smokes and Jokes.
I work at a gluten-free restaurant, so like, all right, yeah, white people, y'all all right, but gluten-free white people, they should fucking die, right? And I know the reason they should die is you made me all these people.
I think you like Tika. Oh, now you're happy, huh?
Yeah, and I'm really serious because I want my kids to be like me, you know. I'm not letting my mom, but not really. She's past it. But when you think about it, I like because you don't burn with these people for money.
I love New York. It is the best place to be gay. You know, I'm going to not every bar if you say bar. But every jam is a gay bar.
Yeah.
You guys ever open up your Yeah. Everybody here has done that. Everybody here has walked into work in the morning at least once and been like, hey, morning, Susan. How was your weekend? Fuck me, daddy. I'm going to take a dick day, sick day. So it's fine.
I am so full of rage. I don't know if you can tell by the blonde, but I have so much rage. When I was pregnant, I was so full of rage that I thought I was growing a school shooter. And turns out she's a girl, can't be a school shooter. Instead, she'll be the girl on the news crying about the shooting because we want her to be famous. But
I was bullied and teased a lot in school. Anybody else in here bullied and teased?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. It's not just me. I was bullied and teased, shoved in lockers, excluded from activities. Like, it was tough. But you know what? I grew up. I'm better. I'm older. I'm wiser. And, you know, thanks to Facebook, you know, I'm able to stay informed that all my bullies are strippers now. And Facebook is actually where I do stay in touch with a lot of my Canadian friends, right? I mean, I am originally from the city now known as Drake. I could be like, I really am now. This is how I really talk, eh? When I'm with my Canadian friends, eh? We actually do sound like this, eh? I don't care. This is how I got 2 A's in my name, eh? I'm from here. You guys can keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the sakes, eh? No, but who am I kidding? I work in corporate America. One of my colleagues are here. Hey, Kelly. I'm that up, right? Now, nobody wants to work with anybody that sounds like that. I can tell you that much. So I gotta do the most Canadian thing that I could do is just buckle it all up and pretend like America's a better country.
All right. Yeah, boy. Hey guys, we are back. My cat's about to kill itself. Somebody move that. Yo, guys, you don't even understand right now, okay? What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. I hope you like that little roach clip for you. Karen, I don't have time. I'm sorry. We are making it work. Yo, is our illustrious is my co-host there? Are you there? Hello? I don't know what just happened, but we just lost Ohenny Cornelius. Oh my gosh! Somebody get him back. It's all right, because I'm in the studio with another illustrious pothead friend of mine.
Hey.
All the way from the West Coast, not the best coast. Originally from over here, Miss Flex, like the Avenue. Welcome to Station Jokes Podcast.
I'm so happy to be here. Those roach clips were awesome and a perfect name.
Oh, honey, you there? It's not working with you on the megaphone speaker, my guy. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Well, let's see if we can hear you on the phone speaker again. You still there? That's worse. Okay, let's see if this works too. Henny, are you here? Lex, can you hear him too?
I cannot.
No. All right, we're trying to make it work so we can hear you. Can I hear you now? Can we hear you now? All right, say something, Henny.
I can't really hear you. I'm hearing you like smacking swooping.
It's kind of sploopy. Can you hear me better now?
No, you're hella far.
Oh man, well that's just kind of how it works with this right now. Like you're on.
All right, so
it's live. It's live.
I'll listen very closely.
All right, can you hear him, Lex?
Yes, now I can. It is a little schmoopy for me as well from him, but it's all right. I could hear. Hello.
Yeah, hi, honey. So I'm over here.
I just made that word up.
I know, and I already know what it means and agree with you.
So I'm over here dealing with Murder Cat. How y'all doing over here? How y'all doing today?
Me?
Yes, we're gonna go to Lex and then Henny.
Oh, word. I'm all right. I'm smoking for the first time today because I saved it for y'all.
Oh,
it's
yes.
An occasion. It's an occasion. I know. I'm very honored. This cat situation really suits you. Like already, it feels like this has been the situation forever, eternally. I like it. It's like I didn't know it was missing, but now that it's here, it feels like the element that's been missing all this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And what are you smoking over there from sunny California?
Okay. Well, it's legal out here in LA, so I got to go to a store and they got these new little pre-rolls in, and I can't resist that you're gonna see in New York when the marketing starts happening. But like they come in these little cute little tins. And so right now I'm smoking this one, which is a true hybrid, and it is 31% total cannabinoids, 26% THC. I don't know. It's fun. They say it's a true hybrid. I don't know.
Yeah, 26%. So it's like a CBD and THC hybrid.
Yeah, I mean, most of the stuff around that you're gonna learn. Okay, so before I moved here a year and a half ago, I was like, gosh, everybody in LA talks about weed like it's wine. They're like, no, I prefer a sativa dominant hybrid. And then like I'd be like, you know, in New York, you like, here's the money, and then like you give me the weed, and then I smoke it and I get high, and like that's
right.
it.
Like we're not wondering right? What kind of strain it is for real.
But like, you know, which is sort of discounting the entire industry of like delivery pot dudes, or people, dudes in my experience that I've met with like the briefcase and they know all the things. But I'm like, I like broke it down to like, is it awake? Go to sleep weed or like be awake weed. But now I'm like, oh, like, let me take a look at like, what's the ratio of, and blah, blah, blah. And it happens. It's going to happen to y'all. But it's interesting because I feel more connected to the weed that I'm smoking because I know more about it, but also a little like it feel like there's something missing when it's not illegal.
Right,
there's something missing when it's not
the element of danger.
It's not a radical act. It's
danger
like allowed. Yeah,
right,
not, you know what I mean?
Let me check in with our illustrious co-host.
Do we really need that element of danger is what I'm asking for. I have so many elements of danger in my daily life. I don't need that weed element of danger, to be honest with you.
That's very
happy it's legal.
Totally.
It's now also legal in New York State, so we haven't gotten like little pre-rolls yet, but I already see a weed world here on 42nd Street and a Mad Men in the Village. Two things already exist in New York. They actually exist the past year before the law was turned, which is interesting to me. So, you know, we knew it was happening. And I like the fact that weed is legal now, because now my local weed man, who I still will shop from, he got to step his fucking game up. Like, you know, it's like,
word.
You're right. You can still buy weed, like not.
It's like
you need an ID to get weed in the store. Like there's.
It was just like it ruined everything for them. So they had to go out with personality. So now my weed man will have to do the same thing. He'll have to be nice to me.
Right. That customer service will have to be there to get my business. You got to earn my business now. You got to earn it.
I'm gonna need Dupree and Shashabaka to have me some like good urban weed etiquette when I'm by myself.
Okay. What are you smoking right now? Are you smoking right now?
Well, I'm smoking. Well, I was able to grab a little bit of herbals, and it was just in my pocket. I'm at the flames right now, so you know what I mean. I'm smoking on whatever that strand was. So it's like one of those anonymous days of earth where you just like somebody passes you what they have, and you're just like, I'm gonna hit this because you know it is what it is. I wasn't able to get to my herbs min before I had to get to work because I was shooting skits.
So basically, you got the danger weed.
Yeah, I got the danger weed right now.
Okay.
I got the danger weed. I got the whatever this is. Hopefully, it's not K2.
I too am smoking on like a blend from the last couple weeks. You know, I just figured like I wouldn't buy any weed this week because I still got all that butter. That's right, y'all. I still got butter for sale. And I had like a bunch of scraps. Like I just kept finding scraps of weed around my house as I would clean. So I put it all together in a jar. I like mixed it all nice. I know there's some limoncello in there. I know there's some Skittles in there, some White Runs, and there might be some wedding cake crasher in there. I don't know. It's a Jeffrey right now. It's the Jeffrey weed.
What, a wedding cake crasher?
I'm not really sure. It's like it's a blend of all the weed that I've like baked with and like smoked over the last 3 months. Cause you know how
So
you
are you smoking roaches or roach clips, or are you just like it was just like a whole bunch of nuts?
no, like there were just like crumbles left.
So
in
like shake at the
yeah,
end.
shake from that shake that didn't make it into the tea or what, just shake in bags that I found around
Yeah,
my
sometimes you got to do that when you're like, you know what, I got like a lot of like the last of the bags. Let me just. How does it feel? Like
it feels great. It's like I
awesome.
can still talk to you guys and manage this cat at the same time. I finally got him up in my armpit. Yeah, I wish you could see. He's like looking at me like,
What's the cat's name?
he's actually looking at me as I smoke, like, what are you smoking? Like, isn't that the what are you smoking face? I think his name is gonna be Tika.
What?
With 1 or 2 Ks.
Tika, like Tika Tumbo. Tika Tika Tumbo, no mom jumbo. Tika Tika Tari, say you're sorry.
I never heard of that. Is that one of those like old school
yeah.
games?
Yeah, it's like one of those old school girl shit things we used to do. I don't know.
Well, I know a little bit about that actually.
Oh, please.
Ricky Tiki Tumbo.
Ricky Tiki Tumbo, that's what I'm thinking about.
Because it was like a story. And it's a bit racist. It's a bit right. We're just gonna, but like, so it's nice to hear that it has been reclaimed. But basically, the point is that the guy's name is so long that when he falls into a well, like to tell the story, be like Ricky Tiki Tembo no Sarambo. There's like a whole long.
It's like he's saying his name as he's falling.
Yeah, and so he's like drowning because everybody has to say the whole long name when they tell the story, like to rescue him.
Wow.
But I remember the thing because in elementary school we did that in like.
It was probably like a black boy in like a colonized.
It was Southeast Asian or something, but yeah, for sure it is exactly that, and it's interesting because I learned about it because we did it in my very white. Super Jewish, not super Jewish religious, but like really Jewish neighborhood, like as kids.
Speaking of Jewish, this came from a little Jewish girl who rescued it from someplace. Like she had rescued another kitten, right? And so when I was talking, you were on the mic last night, I was like on Craigslist and I just saw a thing for a free kitten. And I was like, ooh, I wonder if it's still available. So I sent an email and she hit me back today like, hey, you still want this kitten? I have to get rid of it before Shabbat. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Oh, so she's like religious, Jewish, Orthodox.
Yeah, she's in what's Hasidic. So she's in the Crown Heights. That's like about to go on lockdown and shit. It was
you're like old kids, right? Like you grew up there.
She was like outside scoping me from across the street for like 20 minutes while I just sat there looking around. I was tight. I knew it was her. And she walks over and she's like, "Can I see pictures of your family? Like, I just want to check you out, make sure you're a real person." And then she waved her friend over who was like holding the cat as if like if she was there was a signal. There was actually a signal if I wasn't gonna be like a good person.
It's probably good, and they obviously made the correct assessment that you are like could have the kitten.
Yeah,
but I can imagine that being like, what the fuck?
That'd be crazy if you get home with that and you just got home and shot the cat.
You'd be like, I know you're not going to get this until after Shabbat.
I would never do that. For the record, I would never do that. But yes, also.
But she wouldn't be able to see the text message or whatever until Sunday. She'd be like, listen, you gotta wait. I know this has already happened.
Yeah, and I like literally got off the train. I was at the post office for like an hour and a half, and I decided to give myself a foot massage and all this shit. So I get on the train just in time. I got off the train at like 6:51, and I just bed walk over there. And so the last message she sent me was at like 6:58. And I was like, oh, shit. She might not see where I'm sitting. But it's great because Tika's home. You like that name, right? Tika? He just blinked his eyes once for yes. So, yeah, he likes Tika.
That's the cat kiss. when they do the blink, the slow blink.
Cats are weird, man. I'm not
Yeah.
a cat person, but I'm not against cats. I'm like indifferent to cats. And
I
people
feel like-
who love cats are always reading out that I'm like indifferent to cats. But I think like, you know, I share their indifference to humans. I'm there with them.
I was gonna say, I feel like I have a pretty feline disposition, and I feel like you also have a feline disposition. Like, I bet a lot of cats like really dug you and you didn't notice, because the way they show it is the same way that we all do, which is just like being themselves and not trying to please you. That means that they think you're cool. So it's like, it's very, you know, so I feel like a kinship with the cats, and I feel like Oheni, you have some of that too sometimes.
Yeah, I
feel
feel
like
like
you have
that.
You know,
Yeah.
you let it into your
Well,
heart.
I love animals and beings, but like you know, cats. Again, I don't have no hatred for a cat. I'm not like, I don't want to kick a cat, but I also don't want to.
It's good.
I'm not like, ooh, let me go get a cuddly kitten. Like,
Bro, let's not kick the cats.
yeah, no kicking the cats. I feel that no malice for the cats. And again, I'm not like, ooh, a cat. That's cuddly. I'm not. That's not my. Now a dog or a turtle.
Or a
Really?
turtle. That's interesting. Dogs and turtles super
I
different.
used to turtle sit, actually. Like years ago, I had a friend who was like, she was a performer. She would like fly all over the world doing burlesque. And now she does burlesque and art. Shout out to you know who you are. I used to watch her turtles, Fred and Ethel, whenever she went away. Fred and Ethel are her turtles. And I wonder if they're still alive now. This cat is like so comfortable in my hand. It feels really good too. Just to have this little thing. I carried him all the way home in my breast. I went shopping in the supermarket, and like the security guard notices me holding, I'm holding my breast basically, because I have this cat in one hand and I got a bag, and then I got the cart in the other. And she just like nonchalantly walks over and just takes a station by me. And every time, it was like a movie. Like every time I moved forward, she moved forward, and I hoped I didn't notice. So I just turned around and showed. I was like, "It's a cat. Like, I just want you to see I'm just a cat, not a pervert."
Chill out.
Yeah, she laughed and like still stood there anyway. I think it's because they was trying to close. That's really it. Who knows? Yo, Henny, what's the topic? The first topic is the meme. We talking about white people?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh shit.
We're putting you like, today is your day, Joy. Like,
yeah, I know, but like I just want to check in with you anyway. Speaking of white people, I had such a fucking check this shit out. So I leave, before I get the kitten today, I'm leaving from getting this wonderful foot massage. Shout out to like Red Wing Spa. It's on 8th Avenue between 25th and 26th. Support our Asian brothers and sisters.
Are they black owned? Are they black
No,
owned?
they're Asian owned, and I swear by them. Okay, I swear by these guys.
What kind of Asian? What kind of Asian?
I don't know. Asian. Like the Asian that gets hated on every day. Stop blocking my shot. Anyway, so, it doesn't matter what kind of Asian. They all deserve protection. Anyway, so I walk out of this spa right here, and across the street, I kid you not, are like all of these super old, super white people having their very own Black Lives Matter protest on 8th Avenue and 25th Street. And they was going hard in the paint, like getting in the street. If it was traffic, they're like going up to the cars. Like they were in it. Guys. Yo.
Was that a story of like acknowledgement of positivity for white people? Or?
No, that was just a lead-in to talk about this issue, this meme.
How did you feel about it when you saw it?
I was like, first I was shocked. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what was happening. I thought I was getting punked. or pranked or something like that. Started looking for Asher. There's no cameras. And it was just very real. Like, some of them clearly took their pictures. Maybe they on the gram or not. I don't know. But like, it moved my heart. I will say it brought a little tear to my thug. I had a little thug tear roll down my cheek because it meant a lot that they were like all seemingly out there of their own volition and like really like, at this point, are you really doing it for fame if you're like about to die? Like, no, like you're making a point with anything you do in the end of your life is to like really just cement who you want to be remembered as. And I'm like that meant a lot to me. I got video. I took pictures. I took pictures because like it's gonna be on the Instagram. Make sure you look it up to find out more about that. But like,
yeah, I just want to say that's actually more thugs don't cry tears. Thugs just have more thugs.
What?
I said that's an oxymoron. Thugs don't cry tears. Thugs just make more thugs.
All right. Well, I had a baby thug fall down my eyes. Okay, if that like suits you better.
I'm learning a lot about
down my cheek. You know what I mean? He like rappelled down my cheek watching these white people like protest on my behalf. And like without being asked or told, there was like one youngish brown skinned girl out there with them. She looked to be like somebody's nurse or somebody's daughter. Like she was just like, I'm here because I'm being paid to be here. Huh?
You said it was like 30 people?
Huh?
How many protesters?
I would say about 15. Like they like lined the sidewalk. They almost made it corner to corner. And anybody, and there's like a bunch of apartments right there, so they almost got that whole like cement. You know what I mean? That bit of sidewalk amongst them. Oh, yeah.
I'm like that when I'm an old person.
Would you go protesting?
Would I go protest? What do you mean? Of course.
Would you?
I have. I started organizing.
Did you go out there in the front lines of Black Lives Matter movement and protest?
Are you asking me if I would?
Yes, he was asking if you've been out protesting.
Oh, yes, of course I have. Of course I have. Do all sorts of shit. I don't know if I got arrested at a reclamation action. That's indigenous stuff, not Black Lives Matter stuff. But I feel like it's all against like state violence. It's all against like systemic racism. But yeah, of course I was. I'm only on the front lines when they're asking for white people to be in the front, like we do, like white people for Black Lives, like when Black Lives Matter out here in LA anyway, when they asked for like a white wall. That's like between them and the sheriff. But in terms of front lines, like it's a Black-led movement, and I'm here to like make sure that I'm like of service to the movement. But like, yeah, of course I'm out there. But y'all met me, 6 years ago, so I've learned a lot. You know what I mean? And like, I don't know if 6 years ago I'd be out, but I don't think I would have been as good or not as good. It's not like I don't get a cookie. But like, I wouldn't be like as able I wouldn't be able to offer as much service if I hadn't like spent time learning and like continuing to learn. So hopefully by the time I'm fucking ancient, I'm going to be out in the street being like, fuck it, you're not getting to work. Like,
And I'm going to say this too, like, honestly, you have like shown that you grow a lot. You and I've had some really tough conversations that revolve around race. Like just the other day, for y'all that don't know, Lex over here is an actress, and she is a really dope curator of a virtual open mic that's been holding a lot of us down. Over the course of the pandemic, dispatches from quarantine. So I'm a part of that crew. I gets down with my little residency, so I'll be like, shit, we just basically are artists that come together and support each other. It started as an open mic, and now it's just like been this weekly meetup. But we've had some hard conversations, and I want to know for the audience, or like if what makes you continue to like try to do the work when it's so uncomfortable for you? Because I know I made
well, for one thing, I will say this, like have been very lucky. And I was just talking about this with Tori No Pants for all y'all, the other day, is that like we have been, and I can speak for myself, I've been like very lucky that the people like you and Ohene and Chris and people in the mic, like Marcus, Sean, Nicole, like that, like when I fuck up, like especially in the beginning, I think that like y'all saw that like I was down, and we're very patient because like, and we'll get into it when we talk about this meme because I've been thinking on it. But I think that like what makes it's like it's uncomfortable for y'all too, like that you have to take time and do this labor and like teach me. So like it's, you know what I mean? It's not like it don't ever feel like sorry, I'm high now, obviously. So basically, what the original question was, what makes me keep coming? Like, what makes me keep wanting to do it? Because, like, first of all, like, y'all are my family. And then, like, as a human being, like, we are all family. So, like, if, like, I have implicit bias that, like, the more I learn, the more I see and the more I can undo. And I don't think it will ever be perfect, but, like, I can try. And like, that's like when I ask something of somebody else, like I don't know, like you can't expect them to achieve the thing. I just like, if they're trying, it means that they give a shit. And like, I give a shit about Black people and my friends who are Black and just Black existence in general. So the least I can do is fucking try. And like, I'm very stubborn when things are first presented to me, no matter what it is. And so like, I have, since I'm in my mid-30s now, I've like learned that about myself too. So whenever I have like a knee jerk, it's like I can say, hey, listen, like I'm like, I need a minute because like let it marinate and I'll like take it in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess this is like the least I can do is try. And like, I'm grateful that people like see something in me that says like it's worth like hanging around her still, I guess. Plus like, man, like as like a, you know, a socialist and everything else, and just trying to be connected, like we're like, if like it, like the it's
no,
not
I was trying to load the meme, and so that's why I let you continue.
Sorry.
I'm trying to load the meme.
Are you invited to the barbecue? Do you think you're invited to the barbecue?
It's not for me to say. And I imagine that like, like I can't say that.
Have you ever been invited to the barbecue?
I think so, but everybody's got their own like inner barbecue. So I feel like people have let me in, but I don't know. I hope that if I am at a barbecue, I can like stay humble and like be cool and be of service. But
all right, let's say you're invited to the barbecue.
I'm not putting raisins in anything. I know that's like a thing about white people, but I think it's so gross. So I promise if I'm ever invited to any barbecue, there will not be raisins like inexplicably in fucking everything. I promise. It's like that I can guarantee.
Yeah, that's a good sign with the no raisins, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's like good. You have like good white people etiquette, which is sort of frustrating. You're like, well, it's not my point to say at the barbecue if I'm invited. I want to know whether do you want to be at the barbecue? What?
I mean, I would. If there's a barbecue where white people are invited, I would love to be invited to that barbecue, and I think that I could be there and not cause any harm.
Right,
I also recognize the necessity of the barbecue without any white people in it, and I don't want to be invited to that barbecue because it's not for me. You know what I mean? But the one that's allowed to have white,
you want to be included where you want it, and not invited to where you're not wanted. Like, period. Like, that's it. I kind of feel the same way. That's why I stay my ass in New York sometimes. I'll be like, I don't need to go to Utah for what?
Is it reverse racism if you don't invite her to the barbecue?
Is it reverse racism if I don't invite you to the barbecue? So what? So what if it is?
Well,
you started it. Like,
it exists. Yeah.
started it. Oh yeah.
It's true that reverse racism is such a bullshit baby thing to say that you started it is the perfect response. You know, yeah, you fucking started it. Shut up. But it's
not right now. I feel like even if a thing like reverse racism did exist,
right?
Okay, it is now my right.
Which it does. Maybe like the systemic version of racism. Like
I mean, our systemic. I feel like
the dictionary definition of racism does not offer up systemic ideas into it. I just want to make that clear.
That is true.
The idea of racism and inferiority can be held by both any race, if you will, that has been created. Now, is it being used systemically to destroy the financial structure of other races? That's a totally different concept. But the idea of racism, to me, and from what I read, I believe anybody can have racism or be racist.
I believe more in discrimination and bigotry than the racism of it all. And I just say that because I was raised in a community of brown people, right? So I see how like Jamaicans don't like Haitians sometimes, or Bajans don't like Grenadians sometimes, or like, you know, just Asian people not liking Latino people, or Latino people not liking Black people. Like, I see how we fight amongst ourselves. So to me, I'm that, but I get what you're saying. All I'm saying is, who cares? They started it.
They started it.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As my mama said, if you started, make sure if she started, make sure you finish it. This is just me finishing it. Yo, speaking of finishing, the whole reason we here was talking about this meme that I can't pull up right now. So we just gonna talk about it while I got this cat sleeping nicely in my lap. You know what I mean? Double entendres. I'm really feeling myself.
I like it. I like this mood that you're in. It's contagious.
Me too. Isn't this is my grown-up swag? You know what I mean? Speaking of grown-up swag,
you're in your element. You're host. You're hosting. You're
sharing. Speaking of grown-up swag, make sure you copy with sweater.
Not rude, just
not
busy.
Rude, just busy sweater. You know what I mean? The not rude, just busy sweater. Like right now, there are people calling me. Shout out to Mark West, the Mark West Museum, which is gonna have a pop-up this spring. Make sure you get your tickets.
Is that Black-owned?
It is a Black-owned gallery and soon to be a Black-owned museum. Mark West been doing his thing. He's got Basquiat's for sale. Hit this man up. He's calling me right now, and I can't answer his call because I'm talking to y'all. We busy, right? We're not being rude, but we're just kind of busy. That's what clapback queens are. Give yourself a round of applause. Yeah. So,
the podcast. Did you ever download episode 2 or 3?
I have not been able to check my email yet, but I
think I texted you
on like Facebook.
No, I think texting.
Okay, if you texted it to me, that's like a whole other thing. Yeah, can you like you know what I mean? Like, you're over here making me switch gadgets. I'm doing it a lot, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is so cute. I wish y'all could see this shit. Wait, y'all can see it for like 10 seconds, maybe.
Here's the
So are we going to the next
I'm
topic?
putting the link in the chat of like you have to scroll through it, but it's got the meme that we're talking about, like the full one.
Thank you. I found she is helping me right now. I got it. I've got the meme. The meme is on Deckington. It is loading. So this meme, as I load this meme for the screen share, the point of the meme is talking about like culture. Like, why aren't white people more mad? Why aren't y'all more upset about whiteness?
That's an odd way to put it. Why aren't you more upset about whiteness?
Yeah, nah,
Well,
nah.
I'll tell you right now, it for the same reason that we should be white supremacy. Like for a lot of people, like they just they don't talk about it. We don't learn about it unless we choose to, right? So like a lot of people don't even know they should be mad that they had a culture that was erased, that this isn't the thing that they're supposed to be striving for, you know. Like
All
white
right,
supremacy is the answer.
can we all hear this? It is not playing.
But a lot of white people today can't even really connect with that heritage because somewhere along the way they were absorbed into this all-encompassing sense of whiteness. The definition of which had to keep on expanding in order to stay powerful. Which is how you ended up with things like the Irish aren't white, wait, now they are. The Italians aren't white, wait, now they are. And we even see it today with y'all calling every person of color with features you find attractive white passing. Whiteness is constantly trying to hijack every culture it can so that it can remain as powerful as possible. And that has divorced even white people from their individual cultural identities. Also on that note, I said this before, but like white people should be just as upset as anyone about the homogenization of cultures under the name of white supremacy. Because white supremacy only exists and thrives if it's able to grow. And the way it has historically done that is by homogenizing cultures into some vague sense of whiteness. There are a lot of unique cultures that originate from light-skinned people. But a lot of white people today can't even really connect with that heritage because somewhere along the way they were absorbed into this all-encompassing sense of whiteness. The definition of which had to keep on expanding in order to stay powerful, which is how you ended up with things like the Irish aren't white, wait, now they are. The Italians aren't white, wait, now they are. And we even see it today with y'all calling every person of color with features you find attractive white passing. Whiteness is constantly trying to hijack every culture it can so that it.
So that's where we're starting from. Like, why aren't white people more upset? Help us break this down for all of us.
Okay. I don't know any more than I can.
Or just like let's talk on a human level, right?
But I'll tell you. Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah. What do we think? Yeah.
Yeah. What do we think?
What
That's
do Joy
you know, what do we think? It takes individuals to make groups that make nations, right? So it all starts with like the individual conversations I know, Henny, are having too. And eventually whoever's watching this, you know what I mean? This is the most popular podcast in the greatest New York City area and now the Los Angeles area because our girl Lex is calling from the West Coast.
It's
what
national.
Am I talking about? Soon it's gonna be international. Watch, I'm gonna get my mama on this show. Eventually, it's gonna be international. If you smoke weed and you make art, and I know you, nah, my mom, relax. But yeah, why? Like, what? How did you feel? Like, how did this? What's your thoughts on this question or this theory that's posed by the meme?
Well, they've been ever evolving since you first showed it to me, and it was like I think half of that, and then I saw this one, and so it's been evolving and changing. But my first thoughts were about how my perspective is my experience is as like a Jewish person. It definitely informs like my point of view about it in a different way. Like I can't speak to like Christians in America because there's some sort of preservation of culture, but also not, because like assimilation is like how like Jews survived, and assimilation here and all over the place is whiteness if white supremacy has its way. So like there's an intrinsic issue there, but like because it's also a religion, it's like you know what I mean? So like but me personally, like I don't know anything about Russia. Like my ancestors, like my great grandparents are like came here from Russia in like the 30s, like a lot of American like European Jews, and like I don't know anything about Russia or Austria or Ukraine, where my family is from. I know a bit about and a lot of it is because they were not welcome, so it was traumatizing. So like, you know what I mean? And it's like they're in a shtetl, like just like fleeing the czar or whoever, whatever. We'll see. I don't even know that much, but anyway, so like a lot of the things that I learned are about like Judaism, instead, I think. But like it's very general because it's like all Jews for thousands of years. So that's the thing.
Yes, but like Judaism, like being Jewish, kind of lets you keep a piece of your heritage.
It does.
So like,
yes,
if you were to look at
in a way,
like the other white people here that don't share in that heritage, because I find that like the whole crew of y'all who are like, yeah, I could be like white, but nah, I'm like really happy to be Jewish. I'm really happy to be like this.
I'm definitely white. Like it's definitely
that's not white. Like that definition.
But that's what I was saying before about like when we first met. Like I definitely felt like my Jewishness protected me from having to claim responsibility for whiteness, or for like the responsibility of that privilege, and I don't think that anymore. So like that's like the major change I think between like when we met. It was very like, well, we were slaves too, and it's like just because horrible things are happening to Jews doesn't mean that like Jews also didn't like participate and aren't actively aided here by proximity to whiteness. So all of the Jewish stuff I'm saying, like assimilation came to my mind first. And so like, I don't know if that's like inherent to Irish people, German people, Turkish people, all the things that we saw in the meme, but I imagine that's part of it because it's just safer. If the state wants to kill some people, you go, nah, let's just.
I also wonder if it has to do with like the way that those like people of those classes eventually became a part of the rich and wealthy and powerful political elite and things of that nature, right? Like until there were Irish people in politics and law, like, Irish people were treated horribly, fucking, just as bad as black people. Like they were just you know what I mean? And whiteness is one of those things that broke up a rebellion, like the creation of race in America broke up a slave rebellion between Irish indentured slaves and African slaves. So like that's an interesting thing, right? Like 100 or 200 years later, Irish people were like still above black people, right? And not any longer part of like social caste, but they were replaced by Italians in the 50s who were like all mob, you know what I mean? Like there's all this decade of violence, and Bronx Tale is one of my favorite fucking movies ever, right? But like that's true shit, right? They made whole things about it, West Side Story and whatnot. Lots of culture built off of that, but like the fact exists that like there were different types of white people throughout time that started off as the same immigrants that our country is currently trying to kick out. You know what I mean? Like, 200 years ago, Melania, married to the president or not, like would have never been married to the president, first of all. like you know what I mean? Like that wouldn't happen. But now it's a whole different story. So like that is
you made me think
is assimilation a bad thing though? If it's for survival, like is assimilation. Like sometimes I think assimilation, I personally have used assimilation as a tool for survival. Like that's in the black person's toolkit. We have to assimilate some of us are able to, some of us are not able to adjust to what assimilation demands. But like some of us could also get ourselves free from the matrix. Like, those same people had to get themselves free.
It's cool, and code switching is like a part of it. And there's some, and there is, like, I don't have to do that in New York or LA, but I'm sure there are like Jewish people who are having to do that, but like, so in that, not that it's similar, not that it's the same thing. I'm saying I think that's why, like, there's like sometimes like kinship between, or like Italian on Long Island, like that sort of thing. It's like, I know that there's a part of you that like generationally you had to suppress to like, but of course, because whiteness, like once whiteness was like invented as a thing, you can literally look more of the thing. But what you were saying made me think of the fact that like assimilation is a survival tactic, but it behooves white supremacy because then it has more like soldiers in its barracks so like, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, if the people unite, right, there's more of them. And so like, if we give them something that makes us more powerful and tell them that power belongs to them, even if it doesn't, like people will choose that because like, it's like, because it is survival. And like, how fucked is it that like, that it's like it's totally the whole thing is made up and completely, and it feels intractable, and they're completely like beholden to each other, and it like I don't know, sometimes it's, you know, but you know, I don't know. I know why everyone's tired all the time.
I don't think anybody has the answers. You know what I mean? We can only by continuing to talk to each other about that shit. You know, we got to keep having conversations. We got to keep tuning into the #1 podcast on the East and West Coast at this time on Friday nights. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. In tomorrow, I'll have like totally different thoughts about this.
And some other interesting news today. I saw a bum fight. I saw a bum fight. Now, usually I'm a good Samaritan when people start to like fight. And I just couldn't make myself
That's
stop.
not funny. Bum violence is a real thing.
It is. That's why you have to keep your distance. Like that. It's all about safety for me. For me, it was all about safety. You know what I mean? Like I gotta make sure I get home to my kid.
It would be rude.
Yo, all I know is I was walking down 8th Avenue, right? I'm leaving the post office. And shout out to the old black man who helped me today at the post office. I had to send some packages international. Some of the hoodies made it overseas. And you know, so I had to send it over, and he was like real patient and kind with me and helped me fill out the customs forms and, you know, make sure everything was right and got me the lowest price. So mama, happy Mother's Day, happy birthday, all that good stuff. Cause it's, anyway, so I'm walking, I hear a bottle crash and you just hear like yelling. And then you see one go next to another and he's like, it's just like really weird to watch, but like you couldn't take your eyes off it because it was the most exciting thing happening outside. Like, 34th Street has become like disgusting again. Remember back in the 70s and 80s when bums were everywhere, like sleeping on the steps, and there's like a whole living room situation on 33rd and 8th. It's like, why do I even pay taxes?
Back in the 70s, that shit actually nothing here in New York. New York has been consistently bummed out. There has been a consistent rise, ebb and flow, I would say, of bummery here in New York.
Ebb and flow of bummery. That there has been an ebb and flow. I feel like there is.
My man said Giuliani killed a lot of the bums here. I'm not sure. They all out in the cold, right? They shut them up. Man, that's crazy, yo. Yeah.
I have to say something, and it's gonna be, no pun intended, it's gonna be a bummer, but I have to say it because it's like, but like jokes are funny, and I think that we should all be very upset that like the states criminalize poverty, and that like we are so conditioned, like they like taught us that like it's it's like gross, and it's like it is gross. It's gross that like you can't just like let people like have help and like homes and like want to like, it's so bad out here, y'all, like the unhoused. So like when I hear like like bum fight, I'm just like, man, like why aren't people madder that the country is letting people live? Like they don't give a fuck if these people were dead. It's bonkers. Anyway, so like I don't want to take away from jokes because that's jokes. I just feel like if I didn't say something, I wouldn't be.
Nah, you trying to be a responsible human being. That's all. Like it's and yo, that's
like I know you know.
you're doing the right thing. That's your job, right? But it's not my job. My job is to make you laugh. And like a bum fight is funny. You know what I mean? I can't deny it. Like
Giuliani might have killed all the bums in New York City, or he probably would have if he had like people disappeared. Like they didn't house all those people. They didn't house them. They fucking jailed them or drove them underground or like killed them effectively, if not literally.
Yeah, and who knows who's buried in Potter's Field? You know what I mean? Like those are all. There's so many people out there that are unidentified, and at this point, like who's gonna try? That's a little downer. Yo, but like what like LA has their kind of like situation. Yo, what's that like living in a city that like it always used to blow my mind that it was like this whole section is nothing but homeless people. Like you could be as homeless as you want to be here, but not outside these walls. Like what's that like right now?
Conceptually, it's like Amsterdam from The Wire, except they like just don't give a fuck. Honestly, I do like when I did, because like when COVID happened and then like a bunch of mutual aid networks like popped up, and then like when the uprising started, like I started like being, because I didn't know anybody here really, so I started like looking around. So when I started organizing, so like all the like outreach stuff that I've done has been on the east side. I've never been to Skid Row. They don't give a shit, but I did some like unhoused like stuff around Venice too, actually. It like there's like organized street watch and ground game and things stuff out here, but like yeah. I know.
You gotta. You said you used to go out. You gotta speak a little.
Oh, yeah, I used to go to when I actually go to Skid Row in LA and hand out socks and underwear to homeless people out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually there's something sort of beautiful and accepting about having a whole place. No, it's all good.
Well, there's like over here, there's Echo Lake Park, and like it's like there's communities, right? And it's like they rely on themselves and other like not rely on, but like this like it's just the state like actively wants them to be gone. They're about to have Olympics here. They want to have Olympics here in like 2024 or whatever, and like it historically they just like that's when all the unhoused people like are shipped out to the desert or whatever the fuck. So there's but like here it's like they have communities in Echo Lake Park. They had like a kitchen and like a living room sort of thing, and they were like organizing together, and like that's what people think is dangerous, because like when unhoused people have agency, like obviously most like statistically you have like there's a racial breakdown where you can see like Skid Row is largely like people of color, and you know like but at that point like people, citizens, the government, they're inhuman. So like they just are. It seems to me like they just like form like tight knit communities, like in the encampment around like near me. They like planted all these flowers. Like they just like are like and it's just like because like that's what it takes to survive. Like you cannot do it alone. And when I think about like, and which means that like as housed neighbors, like they're right here, they're my neighbors, like what, like there's community fridge out here that's really nice. Like it's just like if your communities take care of each other, but it's fucked because the state has enough money to also do it, but they won't. So it's up to like all of us to like do the thing, you know, but like it, like, so it sounds like Skid Row is that, but it's also people with untreated like mental illness or addiction and all the things that like if they had money, right, and like that we spend on police to like get rid of them, you know. So
think there ever be a plan to like develop Skid Row into housing for the people that live there, like just some type of like little village situation?
there's people like trying. I wish I could. I can definitely like learn more and talk to you more some other time about it. I don't, but I know for sure there's organizations out there like working directly with people in there, but also like a lot of us have been taught that it doesn't get better. Like they're like, you know, like if you're like a Black trans like unhoused woman on Skid Row, like you might be like, I don't fucking trust anybody to. You, like every time somebody says they're going to put me in a house, it's means tested and I have to sign in and out and I'm treated like a person, you know, like, so like what do people want also, like what's the best for the people there too. So who knows? I'll find out more. Sorry.
Like a lot of people who are in Skid Row and a lot of homeless people, you have to realize sometimes they choose homelessness either through like mental illness, that moment right there, either through mental illness. So it's like easier not to be controlled, because when you have to clock in every day for a job and stuff like that, there's a certain accountability that people don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
New York, that's a big thing that I've heard and seen in New York is like people choosing to be homeless. Like people moved here from other places to be homeless in New York. And I'm like, nigga, what? Like what? Like you're choosing to be homeless in New York? Like that's a choice? You know what I mean? And I battled with, I had housing insecurity for years.
It's like choosing to be an entrepreneur though, almost. It's like, do I want to clock in every day, or do I want some motherfucking white dude telling me what to do every day, or am I gonna go and hustle and struggle and figure out fucking life on my own, you know?
And I wish that it wasn't such a binary choice.
Definition of homeless. Like I was a person who worked for years with a full-time job, and I mean like full-time jobs, like good jobs, making good money, and I still could not afford to live on my own or with my family on my own income. You know what I mean? And like it's just has to do with like the cost of living. Sometimes that shit really isn't a choice. I know there was a point in my life where I was like, well, fuck it, I'll just sleep on the trains. And I slept on the trains for like 2 whole years. People didn't even realize, like, a lot of that time, motherfuckers saw me. I had like all my shit with me. I like literally would just sleep on the train and take a shower every day at my gym, and then go to work, and then go back to the gym, take a shower, and then come out, do what I was going to do, and sleep on the trains. And said nothing about it, didn't fucking complain about it, because it's like, fuck it, I just got to do what I got to do. But my kids were good. There was a roof over their head. My bills were getting paid. Like I was working my way back to life. You know what I mean? And that's, I don't think that if I had the choice to live that way, that I would, because some of these like room rental situations are just skeevy as fuck.
Yeah, and I just,
you know what I mean? There's a lot of scam artists out of here like scamming you for money. So like, oh, I'll put you on a room service. It's $300 just to get access to my list, and I'm gonna send you to somebody else who also have to pay, so that they're gonna, nah, fuck that. I'm not like there's a lot of scams out here for people that are trying to just make it on their own and figure out life. You know what I mean? So what do you do? Like you're doing everything right, and it's still not your choice to be homeless. Like that's what we have to fix as a country.
Exactly. And it's like, that's exactly it, because like it shouldn't be a binary choice between like working for a fucking asshole, working for like some white man to tell you what to do, or not having a home. Like people should be sheltered by virtue of being alive. Like they're here, people should have food, medicine, shelter, like that, education, whatever, like that's it. That's so like, to me, like that's why socialism, that's why anarchism, that's why like because the country doesn't want to. It's better for Democrats and Republicans and liberals and conservatives, for like, it's better for all of them if people don't just deserve things because they're people. The system of white supremacy and like and capitalism, which, you know, is like racial capital, is the same thing. Like those systems are the ones that like make it so that you have to like decide whether you can just live your life the way you choose or fucking not have the things that keep you alive. It's fucked.
Yo, see, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. And shit like this that keeps me alive. You keep me alive. These good vibes keep me alive. I gotta wrap it up because we are coming upon an hour. You know, too much.
I'm sorry, I took away all my scripts.
So thank you so much, Lex Like the Avenue, for coming through and talking with us. You're always welcome. Illustrious co-host Cornelius, you about to sign off? I'm gonna put you in the back for a sec. So, yo, thank you so much to everybody tuning in. Yo, Friday, right? Saturday, this Saturday?
Saturday, May 15th.
May 15th.
We're gonna be outside. We got the first street festival / block party between Smokes and Jokes, Harlem River Young Club and Unruly Collective called Smokes and Jokes Comedy Street Festival. And then that night we're gonna go up to the Bronx, and then we're gonna do another show that night in the screening of the Over Police Movio, Dr. Movio in the Bronx that people.
That's right. So we got May 15th. May 15th, we're in Williamsburg, right? Am I right? In the daytime?
North 6 between Berry and Bedford.
And that's like 2?
Yeah, 2 to about 7:30, 8 o'clock.
7-ish. We out here May 15th. And then in the PM, May 15th, in the PM, we're gonna be in the Bronx. So how do they get a ticket? How do they get a ticket?
No, you gotta go on Eventbrite. Follow Smokes and Jokes Comedy on Eventbrite, and all of our shows that we got coming up will be popping up. We got all of the shows popping up. The Smokes and Jokes series with Unruly Collective, and then also the random shows that we got popping up throughout the city. So Eventbrite, Smokes and Jokes, or Google Smokes and Jokes Comedy in New York City, and it'll pop up.
That's right, yo. Like they over police in the black neighborhood. Yo, you don't even know what's coming good. It's gonna be amazing. Make sure you're there. Follow Smokes and Jokes on line everywhere. It's that easy. Smokes and Jokes Comedy, Smokes and Jokes Roast Shows. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just stop talking. I'm tired. It's over.
Go to sleep. Enjoy yourself.
Go to sleep. Go
to
to sleep.
Yo, namaste. All right. Peace.